we're gonna rush through this a little bit. Just apologies. This is like the sixth take on this one, so apologize if I move a little quick. This is the wrap up for the 21st of August 2020. Again, if you're new to this series, essentially what I do is I have a strategy that I've built within Trade Ideas, a series of windows that I can backtest and kind of get a performance on a 5-day hold. I scan through that list of stocks that were given today, figure out which ones are interesting to me personally going into next week, just from my years staring at charts. I let the robot enter those throughout the week. I sell them at the end of the week. We come back next week and do it again. Doing this particular strategy for a year and a half. There's a whole bunch of other strategies on the channel. Links are in the description below for Trade Ideas, which allow you to do this, the back testing, the auto trading, all of that, as long as my email for mentoring. Essentially, just wanted also to let you guys know that next week and the week after, I may not be here, just some personal vacation, taking some time. I will, however, still be trading this strategy because of the very small amount of work required. It's literally, a half hour a week or so to scan and set up. So that's what's going to be happening for that. So you can follow me on Twitter, which is at Bonpara, Bonpara. We can go through and check those from there. So essentially what we're doing is just kind of wrapping up what happened last week. And last week I actually only had one stock trade and trigger, and it made about $75. So it was a pretty another boring week here. And again, we give this every week, but here's the equity curve using 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 shares. I didn't get fancy enough to do a percentage or risk per trade or something, but maybe next year I'll beef that up, because this will continue, I'm sure, to be a strategy that I use. So here on XRX, which was the only one that got triggered, we got in on Monday, and then it just chopped around and kind of grinded higher. Walmart, we almost got. We gapped right through the entry, and then it was Wednesday or so before it triggered, so the order had already canceled then. TNDM just shot up right from Monday on, so it never got in. And same, this gapped up on Monday and nothing triggered. So that was the only one for last week. For this week, I'm looking at CAR. Essentially, we've got two spinning tops right here into a rising moving average, a nice strong trend of a stock. And I think if it breaks this high, which was also a little high here and a little high here, there's kind of room to go up there. COHN, just a nice kind of solid pullback on a pretty strong stock, right? From $2 to $30 is pretty insane. And it's been pulling back. And if you notice in this pullback, we're getting more indecision as it goes. So just watch the candle progression, right? A sell that closes at lows, a sell that closes at lows, a little kind of a spinning top, a doji, and then a long-legged spinning top or long-legged doji. And this is just kind of showing me that as we kind of come to this area that we broke out before, we're getting more and more indecision. On the long side, we've got DY. So DY recently came up here to fill the gap, pushed a little bit higher. Now it looks like it may break down back into the gap. You guys know how I love these indecision candles. So we have a doji yesterday and today right here. So I think if we break this kind of area of indecision, it could coil lower. Last but not least is CDK. Same kind of a look. Big, strong stock up into resistance and struggling with resistance. And you can see indecision here, here, and here, as well as here. So there's a lot of worry and indecision about what's going on in the stock. And again, you guys know how I love to wait for those to resolve and kind of take them one way or the other. Okay, so we got it that time. That is what I'm looking for this week in stocks. Let's take a quick look at crypto. We broke out of this ascending triangle and we slammed back down right into it. So I actually took a small short as we came back down into it. And I'm waiting to see if this candle pushes below this one here, and I may add to that short. Initial stop was up here. I probably wouldn't let it get that far away from me. This is just a pretty decent bull trap. And although we've been really strong recently, if you zoom out, you can see that this area here is where we reversed last time. So there still may be a lot of kind of bag holders and resistance up in this area. So that's kind of why I'm looking on the short side instead of the long. I just think that, you know, if you zoom out far enough, right, this is a downtrend. Until this high here is broken, it's still technically a downtrend. So that's why I'm looking at that one for this move lower. And again, it was one of those kind of sentiment trades I saw all over Twitter, which, you know, this thing popped up through and then pulled back into. And it's just when you see everybody bullish like that and a resistance that strong, that's kind of where I look at the other side. So that is it for this week. Again, under the video for all of those links, and I will talk to you guys soon.